your weather outlook for this Thursday, the 7th of November. Time to get into the stories that are making headlines in the dailies today. I'm joined by Gunjiri Wambugu right here on set at the Penari Hotel. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Sophia.
Sophia.
I have said it the way you've always wanted to say it.
Yes, you got it. You got the accent right.
I've gotten it, yeah? Let's go to the standard, Gunjiri. Dramas and peace seal Ngilu fate. Is it sealed?
No, it's not actually. If you listened to the conversations or the debates or the shouting in Parliament yesterday,
yes.
you don't get the impression it's sealed. I think what Parliament did was make a decision to say that they didn't like what she had done, but they stopped short of saying what they wanted done to her.
Okay.
So they actually, in my opinion, I don't think they actually sealed her fate. They recommended, or they recommended that they were not satisfied with how she had performed her duties as a cabinet secretary for land.
Right.
And some of the decisions she made in terms of hiring and transferring people. But they didn't really say, I mean, sealing her fate would be go home.
Yeah. So what would they have done? What would you have seen happen if they were to actually seal her fate yesterday?
Come up with a clear recommendation for the president to fire her.
Okay.
That would have been sealing the fate.
Right.
Yes.
But there were those who were saying that even after now that was passed yesterday, there could still be somebody now to come up and say, okay, in light of this, now we want to censure her, get her out.
Now that's the person who will seal her fate.
Okay.
The person who will actually now do that is the one who will seal her fate.
Okay, so a story we'll continue to watch, but it was also interesting during the debate and as the members submitted in Parliament that we saw her getting support from CORD members.
Yes, that was actually quite interesting, and it gives me the impression now watching it from outside that what is going on has a lot less to do with her work and a lot more to do with politics. Because remember that Ngilu is actually a Jubilee government appointee. Yeah. And when she was being appointed, and you go a little bit back into before the elections, and CORD were not her friends, really, towards the elections and immediately after. Right. To see a situation where Jubilee are the ones who are baying for her blood, and CORD are the ones who are stepping in to protect her, tells you there's a lot more politics going on this issue than the issues that we are seeing. Yeah.
And do we know what could be happening? Why all of a sudden, or why there's this that, as you say, Jubilee baying for her blood? She's one of their own in essence, and we saw them going all out, and then it's CORD standing there, the members, and arguing that at the end of the day mistakes are made and she corrected it, so really we shouldn't go all out. Very interesting debate that one.
Yes, it was. I guess one of the things I would say is I think one of the legislators made a very interesting comment about her arrogance when she was asked to come in into the committee meetings. That could have been one of the issues that led to a feeling of, look, you don't seem to take us seriously. You think because you're hanging out with the president,
we're the small peeps.
So that is speculation. One of the things that could be happening. But then also you get the impression, some of the comments that were made in Parliament were quite telling about cheap money being circulated around, about stuff like that. That's concerning. That is quite concerning.
Yeah, because some were standing and saying, just to make it clear, I have not been paid. Yes. But this is my position.
The fact that they're saying that it was a suggestion that some people have been paid. And it's actually very sad. It just shows you how low we seem to have fallen.
And our politics and how they play out when it comes to the hour of need and crucial hour for Ngilu. So it will be interesting to see how the president will decide which way he will take. Ben Suda, I have audio on bribery attempts. Is another story on the top page. So the prosecutor says she has audio records of what she alleges is evidence that individuals who claimed they acted on behalf of President Uhuru Kenyatta attempted to bribe prosecution witnesses.
I read that. It's interesting because this comes in the footsteps of a similar comment that has been made by Uhuru's defense. I don't know, most Kenyans haven't noticed that Uhuru's defense has made appeal claiming that their witnesses are also being tampered with by the prosecution. Yes. And they also said they had audio, they had technical evidence on it. Right. So it's interesting to watch where this is going. It looks like both sides of this have been fighting each other. And it's it's interesting. I think it's interesting, and I guess it's going to be important, in my opinion, for us to actually have a conversation, or for the court to have a conversation about these claims of witnesses, intimidation by both sides of the defense and prosecution.
Okay, to page 3, away from the politics and the ICC, there's quite a lot on that every single day, I think.
Yes.
Ministry plans to put up 4 regional cancer treatment centers. This coming after, of course, in October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and cancer more and more becoming that one of those very key killers, if I may call it that way. It's very scary. It's taking away very many lives. So it's good that we're seeing this kind of a move.
I think it is. I think it's a very, very positive development. I think nearly every Kenyan I know has expressed concern about the rising cases of cancer.
Right.
So this is a very, very, very positive move by the ministry.
Right. Let's go to the JSC and the House as well. House defies orders on JSC team sacking debate. So the High Court had issued orders stopping debate on a report by a House team until a case filed by JSC is concluded. And so now we're seeing this back and forth. JSC feeling that in essence Parliament should not have any oversight or any say in how they conduct their business, and Parliament saying there should not be any organization that cannot be overseen by them.
I think this is a clear example of two of the 3 arms of government trying to fight to show who is superior over the other one, or who is not superior over the other one. We have a situation where JSC is insisting that Parliament cannot oversee them, but at the same time we have Parliament saying no, we are the representatives of the people. The Constitution gives us a mandate to oversee everybody.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to watch how the judiciary is going to react to this blatant disregard of court orders by the Parliament. But then also I think there's need to look clearly at the separation of powers. JSC has been claiming that there cannot be any oversight all over them by Parliament, which I do not buy, because the way JSC is a structure of the judiciary. It's not a court.
Yes.
This is a management structure. For them to say they cannot be overseen by anybody is pushing the whole idea of independence a bit too far.
A bit too far. Okay, let's go to Machakos now on page 7. Mutua saying here Machakos city launch to go on. That's set to happen. The president was meant to go for the groundbreaking, but there's been the row over the land, and the governor brushes off claims of land grabbing and vows to go on with the launch despite stiff opposition. So one of the things he's been saying is that, I mean, this issue and the land has been here for so long. Why, when we're just about to launch this, are there now voices of dissent coming in?
That's actually a very good question, because when I was actually very surprised to see how much development has been done on that land, including walls have been put up, guardrails have been dug. I mean, the foundations have been dug. And unfortunately, a political analyst will say a tiff between the senator and the governor in this issue. You get a very clear position from the senator of Machakos, Honorable Mudhama, saying that this thing should not go on. He also has a problem with the land being given away. He says people should buy. We have the governor on one side who says, I'm pushing this for the county. Yesterday, was it yesterday when the senator went to court to get an injunction to stop some demolitions from being done on that land? So I think a lot of this is more of a political conflict between the governor and the senator, rather than an actual factual problem on that land. I think it's the continuing fight for supremacy that has been going on between the senator and governor in Machakos that's coming out to now interfere with their development issue. And I think it's very sad if they can't get that act, they can't get the act together. On this one.
And quite an ambitious governor we are seeing there in Machakos, with the Machakos city. And also we had yesterday there these new taxes, so the cows business, it's not going to be all showing up. And
driving to the town. I mean, for me that was the funniest, because I have come across Mira vans, these Mira pickups, and the way those vehicles move. It will be interesting to see how they're going to stop them in Machakos to get them to pay.
Yeah, 10,000. And also just on that, we are seeing more and more counties. And there was a story, I think, yesterday or the day before, that different counties around now the country are coming up with all these taxes to raise revenue. They're realizing, hey, at the end of the day, what we're getting from government is not enough. But quite of them quite absurd or interesting.
Yes, yes. But then also what is actually even more interesting was this report by the auditor, I mean the lady who is in charge of budgets, saying that only 8 counties have actually presented fully balanced budgets. Most of the others have not. In fact, 22 are at the stage where they don't have budgets. And she made a very interesting comment. She said that counties that have not passed budgets should not collect revenue. That's actually illegal. So this is, I guess, this is going to be part of the teething problems of devolution, and then counties getting the act together. And it's also going to be interesting to watch how the revenues they are collecting affect national revenue collection. Because there's a law that says there can't be conflict. So it's going to be interesting to see how raising, because it's actually raising taxes, and adding taxes to Miraa traders or cattle herders in Machakos is going to be, or premises owners is going to be affected. CCTV is going to affect revenue collection by KRA and other national agencies.
Okay, let's go to the Daily Nation. The headline today: County cash blocked over shoddy budgets. Control of budget withholds 7.8 billion shillings. That's quite some money after governments failed to draw up balanced plans and have them approved by the assemblies as required by law.
Yes, this is actually what I was talking about, where you have a situation where some counties haven't been able to pass their budgets, and a lot of this is because the county assembly representatives are on strike, asking for more money. So it's a vicious circle. You can't get the money that you're supposed to get because the people who are supposed to help you pass the budgets want more money, and they don't allow you to get the money you can get until you give them more. But again, I guess it's expected with counties rolling out for the first time properly in Kenya that we will certainly have quite a number of issues like this over the next 2, 3, 4 years.
And also this stalemate between the MCAs and the SRC, it's really just been dragging on for a while now. And I was listening to their representative, the man we see speaking a lot, Anu, I think, and he was saying that for them it's really about ensuring the systems work, but they're asking for pay rise. I mean, what does that?
It's actually, they need to be sincere. It's not about ensuring the systems work, because what they're actually asking for is a pay rise. They get an average of 80,000 shillings now, and they're asking for close to 290,000. And in the real sense of the word, a lot of county governments cannot be able to carry that budget. You saw Makueni getting to the point where they actually got stuck, to the point where the governor was threatening to resign. You know, it's just hilarious. I think. But then I guess sometimes I keep bringing that issue back to us as Kenyans who voted for them. That was, I mean, we put these reps in there, and I guess we're getting a response from there.
Okay.
Yes.
Page 3 of the Daily Nation: advocates in East Africa alarmed by punitive media laws. Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and Somalia accused of media suppression. So the lawyers plan to meet to discuss draconian media laws. That word draconian has really been used, being enacted in the region. So still we're seeing quite a discussion going on, and also beyond our borders now, on the media laws here in Kenya.
I think the whole idea of managing media is starting to become a regional effort. I don't know who's learning from who in terms of what to do, but we've got Uganda, we've got Burundi, and we've got Rwanda. So the draconian law, as we are calling it now, that Kenya is passing, is actually on track with everything else that the region is doing. Now, what I would actually want to hear from the lawyers meeting at the coast is more of how they're going to what they're going to do about it, rather than just having a conversation about it. Because a lot of us are talking about it, but what movement is going on? Who's lobbying the government to have it stopped? who is coming with an alternative to the government.
Yes.
I know Media Council is doing their part, but for the lawyers to say they're going to talk about it strikes me more of a PR, we staying with the moment kind of conversation than actual activity to get it solved.
Although we've seen also people just who've come out, organizations, and CIC, LSK, Ahmed Nasir himself and his law firm had talked about that if the president assents to the kicker bill, that they would go into the court, they'd move to court, because in essence they maintain that it's unconstitutional. But we're also seeing Jamlet Kamau maintaining as well that there's nothing.
As far as it's concerned, there's nothing wrong with that bill. He actually read him saying he advises the president to sign it. I think we're in a very interesting position. If the president signs this bill, for sure, many people will go to court. And I guess the civil society is also getting involved in this, because now they're starting to get very worried, because there seems to be a rider bill immediately after this that also seeks to control civil society. So there's the executive and parliament is opening itself up to bombardment from court if they push this and not negotiate down.
And road safety continues to make headlines. It's a story that I don't know when we'll get it right, because just yesterday 8 other people killed in Kisii. This coming after 12 people were killed, and these are the stories you get to hear about, the accidents you get to hear about. There are many others every day, like Mombasa. It is crazy with accidents, but still a lot of reactive action we see from government. What do you see will heal this for Kenya?
I want to agree with the judge in this. Is it Unimona? The case Moina, yes. The Moina case. The Moina directors went to court yesterday to ask for their 200 buses to be released. It appears that the government or the ministry has put restrictions on their buses. And the judge asked a very interesting question. Why do we do vehicle inspections after an accident?
Right.
And I guess that for me is a simple question. Why does the government seem to be interested in doing inspections of vehicles after an accident happens? Because that is not going to stop an accident. It means you're only doing something. Some Kenyans have already died, so these other buses you're inspecting, really, we need to see a lot more preemptive action by government in terms of whether it's going to be what are they called? The situations where you stop vehicles on the road before an accident happens and actually conduct inspection. The reactions we are getting, a lot of the work that we are seeing is reactionary. It's not really helping us save lives.
And also, it's just everyone must remember the role and the backstops with everybody, even the passengers. At the end of the day, it's not just the government.
Actually, that's
the matatu, the owners of these matatus, the passengers.
Actually, I think a lot more responsibility is with the passengers. I mean, the matatu owners are going to be doing business. The drivers are going to be running to catch as many squads as possible. So the passengers who are getting into the buses that are, and then allowing the driver, because you see, you can actually ask to get out of the car or to have the driver stop driving quickly. These are the situations maybe we need to see the ministry doing more passenger empowerment programs. Having hotlines where you can actually send information and say, look, this vehicle, it's moving very badly, and also a reaction to that hotline. And then we need to see matatu associations that are not untouchables, because I hear there's some associations that you cannot touch. When this whole idea of Mutindwa, the fact that driver could actually pass a policeman on the road trying to stop him and continue and go to the point where he gets installed on the railway track tells you there's something. This is a guy who believes he cannot be affected by a policeman. That needs to stop. And
on page 6 of the Daily Nation, yesterday when I was driving home, I was listening to this radio station discussion, and one of the hosts was talking about a bash that people will have because Mutudho has his appointment, removed from being Nakada chair, and quite some people were in celebration mood. How did that happen?
It's still very unclear. I think there's a situation about his appointment, whether it should have gone through vetting. I hear people saying, I hear him saying that he's waiting to be vetted by Parliament. I don't know whether Nakada chairmanship is supposed to be vetted by Parliament. But then also, it's interesting, 1.5 months or thereabouts after his appointment, it is revoked. this is not he's been suspended. This is actually a cancellation of his appointment.
Right.
Yes, I can see where people would be coming out and going, yes, vote for him, because he does have a reputation of being very harsh on the industry. I think also I get the impression that the liquor industry, for lack of another word, has done a lot of lobbying to have him removed. He made some interesting comments on the issue of Miraa immediately after he took over, which even within Nakada are viewed to as taking back the whole fight against Miraa several years back. So maybe he jumped in too fast and too hard and made enemies too quickly.
All right, finally, let's have a look at the headline story in the Star today. Ruto fury over losing his budget, and DP's vote moved to Uhuru office. So the deputy president is furious that the financial budget allocated for his office has been transferred back to State House. Yes,
an interesting report there, because we've been given this impression that we have one presidency.
Right.
We'd assume that money would come from one place. But then I can also see where the deputy president is coming from, because you actually do want to have a budget that you control from your office. How this will be dealt with is a lot of Kenyans are going to be watching, because there's always been this impression that the bromance, as it was being called, between the president and the deputy president was not meant to stay. This starts to make it look like it's starting to get challenged.
Right.
And yes, I guess we're going to have to put our eye on that for a while.
Okay. And finally, we are talking about the young professionals today and their role in promoting nationhood. What are your thoughts?
I think I don't know what generation they are now. I know there's been an X, there's been a Y. But I think the young professionals have a lot of capacity. This is a generation that has taken over the social media in Kenya, as far as I know. They're running a lot of the middle management or senior management in a lot of organizations, and also getting into the public sector. I think it's a generation that's going to determine how Kenya is going to build itself moving forward. It will be very interesting to hear what the young professionals who are coming on the panel today have to say about how other professionals like themselves can create Kenya and or the Kenyanness that we're looking for. It will be interesting to listen.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gunjiri Wambugu, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sophia.
Always a pleasure.